Grab some of Dollar Tree's bamboo cutting boards because in today's video, I've got a few fun and creative DIYs to share using them. So let's get started. I love crafting with Dollar Tree's bamboo cutting boards. They're made of real bamboo and have such a nice smooth finish, which makes them perfect for all kinds of DIY decor. So when I saw that my store finally had the new larger size in stock, I was so excited and of course I grabbed a bunch. For the first DIY, I'll be using one bamboo cutting board and I just love that there's more room to work with. I'll also be using one of these mini wood pallets from Dollar Tree. Now, I got this vintage floral rub-on transfer from Amazon, and the design is really pretty. It came with 3 different sheets, and honestly, I love the print on all of them. I've actually never used this rub-on transfer before, so this is my first time trying it out, and I'm hoping all goes well. Right now, I'm just trying to decide which one to cut out, and honestly, that might be the hardest part. They're all so pretty, and I kind of want to use them all. Now I'm going to apply the transfer above where I just placed a palette, so not the whole board, just that top section. And I'm keeping that in mind as I choose the design. I really like this section here with the bird and the flower, so I carefully cut that out. Next, I just flip the transfer over, peel off the white backing paper, and place it down right where I want it to go. Then I just use that little stick it came with to rub the design onto the board. I start by rubbing over the whole image first to help hold it in place. Then I carefully lift one corner and slowly peel it back. If a part doesn't transfer right away, I just lay it back down and then I just keep rubbing over it until it does. Now there was a little spot that no matter how much I tried, I just could not get it to transfer. I don't know if it was the board or the transfer itself, but in the end it was fine, so it did blend. And so I'm just tapping along the edges, making sure it's fully down and everything stuck in place. Now you'll want to seal it, and you can use any water-based sealer like Mod Podge just to help protect the transfer and keep it from peeling over time. Next I'm going to paint the wood palette in the shade Seaside Blue from Deco Art, but really you can use any color you like. Just about anything will complement the wood beautifully. These Dollar Tree foam brushes aren't the sturdiest. They bend pretty easily when you apply pressure, so it can be a little tricky, but they do the job. So I'm painting the front of the palette, but then I remembered that I actually wanted to use the back as the front. And so I flipped it over and painted that side as well. I just like how this side looked better with the 2 vertical wood pieces. It adds a nice detail. I'm also going to be elevating it slightly with some tower blocks underneath, so having a flat surface on the back will just make it easier to glue. To lift up the palette, I'm using 6 tower blocks and I'm gluing them together end to end in pairs, so I'll have 3 sets total. You could also use square dowels or any small wood pieces you have on hand, just something to give it a little height. And I'm just brushing on some of that blue paint. Now I will be adding glue on the narrower sides of the blocks, so those sides I want to keep unpainted. I also lightly sanded the part of the palette where I painted and I plan to add glue to. You know, it's always better to glue directly onto bare wood for a stronger hold. And then I'm just gluing the blocks on the palette like a U. And I'm gluing the vertical ones behind the ones in front to conceal it. I wanted to distress the palette a bit, just lightly, so I'm going in with my little finger sander and I'm sanding down the edges here and there. I'm also hitting a few spots on the surface just to rough it up a bit and give it more texture. Although I kind of wish I'd stained the palette a bit darker first, just so the distressing would stand out more, especially against this beautiful blue. I'm just adding some glue to the back of the palette. I really like using this glue from Type On. It holds really well. You can definitely use hot glue too, especially if you're not planning to put anything too heavy inside. To hang this up, I've just been loving these Command Velcro strips, and I love that they're removable. You're not left with holes on your wall. Now this stuff usually sticks to anything, but for whatever reason, it would just not hold well on this board, so just give the wood a good cleaning or even a quick sanding on that spot, or you can do what I did and add a strip of hot glue and that'll help stick it better. And we're all done. I really love that little pocket space where I can tuck in some greenery or faux flowers. It's such an easy way to add something pretty to the wall without taking up much space. For the next DIY, I'll be using another one of these Dollar Tree bamboo cutting boards. I'm making a pretty little tray with gold handles, and I wanted to use a rub-on transfer again for this. They're just so pretty. I'll have that Amazon link below if you want to check it out. So here I'm just trying to decide which part of the design I like, whether I'm going to cover the whole surface or just a small part. And I decided to go with this section right here, and so I just carefully trim it out with an X-Acto knife. I'll be using a couple of these gold metal pulls from Dollar Tree. They also had black ones too, which was such a nice find. Definitely one of those things I don't always see, so I grabbed a few while I could. So before I rub on the transfer, I just want to get an idea of placement with the pulls. There's a pretty little bird there and I don't want to cover up its head. Now I thought it was a little too long, so I thought I'd cut out a line of the wording in the middle just so I can bring the two main designs a little closer and avoid the handle going over it. And I'm just trimming some of the writings around the flowers just so that it's not too boxy. And then I remove that white backing paper of the rub-on design and I place them down on the board with the design side facing up. I'm using the wooden stick that it came with to apply the transfer on the wood, and I start out going over the whole design, and this just helps getting it to stick initially, and so that way it doesn't move around. That was looking a bit uneven by the bird. There was this big empty spot on the top right, and so I just cut up some of that wording I had trimmed off earlier, and I stuck a few pieces to extend it. I thought that balanced it out a lot better. So I just keep rubbing over the design while slowly lifting it up. If any spots didn't transfer as I went, I would just lay it back down, rub over that area again, and then keep lifting until the whole design was fully transferred. Once the transfer is on, you can go over it with a layer of matte Mod Podge just to seal it in and keep it from peeling or scratching off later. Now, I would have loved to screw on the handles, but the screws that came with them are just too long for the cutting board. You could use shorter screws and add some adhesive bumpers underneath, but for this one, I'm just going to glue the handles on instead. I'm also going to elevate the tray with some square dowels that I trimmed down a fit, which I'll be placing underneath. I'm going to paint it just to add a little color and contrast. This is khaki chalk paint from Craftsmart. It's a very neutral color, but I could definitely see this looking great in bolder colors too. Once the paint has dried, I glue it right underneath about 1/4 of an inch from the edge. For the handle, I'll be using E6000 for a super strong hold. And I try to place that right above where I place the dowels. And this one is all done. Let me know what you think. For the next project, once again, I'll be using one of Dollar Tree's bamboo cutting boards. I'll be adding some stenciling right on top, and I'll be using this one from Walmart. I've used this several times and I really like it. I'll just be using white chalk paint for the stencil. I did consider painting the whole board white and doing a dark blue for the design part, but you know, I love the look of the bamboo wood too much to cover it up. But let me know, would you paint the board or leave it as is? Now, since the stencil was a bit bigger than the board, I added some double-sided tape underneath to hold it in place. Then I just apply the paint over the stencil using a pouncing motion. I apply the paint in light layers, that way the paint doesn't bleed under the edges. Okay, so I was planning to stick this white floating shelf from Dollar Tree towards the bottom of the board, but I totally forgot I wanted the board to stand up horizontally. To me, it looked a little off vertically since the shelf was so wide, so I decided to scrap that plan, save it for the next project, and do something else with the board. I decided to make this into another hanging wall pocket, but this time with fabric. I got this blue and white striped fabric from Dollar Tree and I thought it would complement the white stencil nicely. I'm just going to hot glue the fabric on the back of the board. So first I trim out the amount that I need, making sure I have at least 1.5 inches of extra fabric all the way around to fold around the back. On one of the longer sides, I glued down about 1/2 inch of the fabric first, just to tuck in that raw edge so that it doesn't fray and it looks a lot neater. Then I place the board face down on top of the fabric and I glue the sides in place, pulling it snug as I go. Now you can definitely double up the fabric. I didn't have enough to do so for this one, but that would have made it extra sturdy. For the corners at the bottom, I just do a little triangle fold and then I glue them down. And if you want an even more secure hold, you can also use a staple gun to finish it off. To hang it, I'm going to drill a couple of small holes near the top. You can thread through some pretty ribbon, twine, or jute string, whatever fits your style, and tie it in a knot or a bow to hang it up. It adds a cute little finishing touch and it makes it really easy to display on a hook or a wall. Okay, for this one, I'll be using one of Dollar Tree's bamboo cutting boards, along with that floating shelf from the earlier DIY. The shelf is a white plastic floating shelf, about 8.5 by 4 inches. It's super lightweight, and it has those little keyhole slots on the back for hanging, which I won't be using for this project. So I'll be gluing the shelf onto the cutting board, making sure it's attached along the longer bottom side. There are a couple of little tabs sticking out from the back of the shelf, and so I just snip those off with some pliers. I just want that edge to be nice and flush so it sits flat when I glue it on the board. Now I was planning to add some stenciling on the board, but as I was just kind of holding the pieces together to get a feel for it, I actually really liked how it was looking already. It's very clean and simple, and sometimes that's all you need. You could even make a couple of these and switch out the screws with some longer ones so that you can attach them on the wall. That's definitely an option. Okay, so moving on. Now, because I really like that minimal subdued look, instead of stenciling a full design on the board, which I'd originally planned, I thought I would just circle back to those pretty rub-on transfers and just add a small design on the corner. I think that'll add such a pretty touch. And so I just cut out this corner flower, and I thought it would look perfect on the top corner. So I removed the backing paper, placed the transfer on the left side of the board, and then I rub it on using that little wooden stick that it came with. And just keep going until the whole thing transfers cleanly. Next, I'm going to add some glue on the back of the shelf, and I'm using E6000 for a strong bond, but you can definitely use your glue of choice. And I just attach the shelf and board together like so. Then I wrap some tape around it to clamp them together and hold everything tightly in place while the glue sets. To finish it off, I thought I'd paint the edge of the shelf just to give it a little more detail. It was kind of looking a bit flat as is, and so I just made sure to tape off the areas around it that I didn't want to get any paint on, just to keep everything clean. I'm using a very light neutral color, and I actually mixed a couple shades together until I got the shade that I liked. And this DIY is all done. For the final DIY, I'll be using one of Dollar Tree's cutting board. I'll also be using 8 of these paint stir sticks, which I got at my local hardware store, Lowe's. They were about $1.98 for a pack of 10. I'll be making a chic bamboo box, and these are going to make the sides with 2 on each side. And so I'm just laying them on top so I can see how much I need to trim. I want the length to be a little shorter because I want the bamboo board to extend past the edges. I'll just be using my miter box and saw to trim them down. I'm cutting 4 pieces to 9 inches and another 4 to 6 inches. Since I'm making multiples of the same size, I'm just taping them together, and it makes the cutting process go a lot faster, and it keeps everything nice and even. To hold the paint sticks upright, I'm using these square dowels trimmed to about 2 3/4 inches. These are actually from some Dollar Tree canvas frame that I had left over from a past project, and they ended up being perfect for this, and they were already dry brushed with white paint. So here they are, all trimmed and ready to go. So the paint stir sticks have those little white ruler marks on them, and I did try lightly sanding some of it off, or at least just to tone it down a bit. But you know, I wasn't too worried about it since I knew I would be dry brushing some white paint over them anyway. I'm using white chalk paint from Waverly, and I'm just lightly brushing it over the paint sticks. I want it to have a weathered, distressed look, and so I'm just dry brushing it to let some of that wood still peek through. That way I get that worn out vibe without having to sand anything later. I'm starting with the longer pieces first, just brushing along the grain with a light hand. I'm not fully coating them, I just want that soft, brushed on texture that gives it a bit of character. I like when the paint goes on a little uneven, it adds some depth and it keeps it from looking too flat or uniform. I'm using Titebond Quick and Thick to glue the wood together, but you can use any wood glue or even something strong like E6000 or super glue. I wouldn't really recommend hot glue for this part. It might hold at first, but over time, it doesn't have that same staying power, especially if you're planning to keep this piece for a while. So I'm starting with the longer wood pieces and adding some glue to each end, and then pressing them onto the square dowels, 1 on each side. I'm making 2 sets of these, each with 2 paint sticks spaced out evenly. Next, once that's dried a bit, I'm going to build the shorter sides. I'm using 2 paint sticks here as well, spacing them the same way as I did the longer sides. I'm just applying glue on the ends and lining them up between the 2 long sides, 1 at the top and 1 on the bottom. Then I clamp everything in place to hold it steady while the glue dries. Once all the sides are attached and everything feels secure, I'm gluing the whole crate onto the bamboo cutting board, which will make the base. And we are all done. This came together so easily, and I love how clean and simple it looks. Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my future videos. Let me know in the comments below which DIY was your favorite and what kind of projects you would like to see next. Until next time, bye!